Hi, I'm Cindy from bdancewear.com, and in this video we're going to show you how to create a traditional ruched flower. This is great not only for costumes, but it's also great for dresses. The reason you want to do something like this is it gives it a little bit of softness, super easy to do, and it'll just make your costume look amazing. For this particular flower, a lot of times I will use a strip of fabric, and you fold it over. It'll make it a little fuller, but I've done one of the flowers here with a strip of lace with the scalloped edge on the outside. This is just a thick grosgrain ribbon that you can use. And this is a double-sided ribbon you see a lot on blankets. You can use that so it has a finished edge on it. So this is the one I'm going to do with fabric so that way I can make sure it matches the outfit. I'm taking a strip right here. It is, let's see, about how long is this strip? I'm going to make it about 1.5 feet. And it's almost 2 feet, a little too long. If you use a ribbon, it's thin like that. If you use folded over fabric, you're getting a little bit bulkier of a piece there. And then I round off the edges. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is all sewn underneath, and round off that edge. On this, I worry always about the thread breaking because it happens a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind out a really long strip of thread. You'll need a long piece for this. Then at the fold, I'm going to put that fold inside. I like a long needle for this. We're going to unwind it, that strip long, so that when I'm folding it over, I now have 4 pieces of thread. Throw that in the trash. Let's make this into a knot. Now what we're going to do is, I always put the knot inside the little flap of this. Otherwise, you just put it on the end. Then you're just going to wind in and out approximately, let's get on the inch side, about 1/2 inch. And you just wind that up. Keep winding in and out, 1/2 inch front, 1/2 inch back. Make sure you catch both sides. When the needle starts to get too short, you gotta pull that all through. And keep it gathered up. Once you do one, you can decide, do you like it 1/2 inch? Do you want a bigger gathers, smaller gathers? You know, how big do you want the flower to be? On this particular case, let's see. This piece of fabric is about 4 inches wide almost. You're going to lose some length for where the stitching is, so don't worry about that. Just keep making sure you got both sides, in and out. And if you see you're getting a little more than 1/2 inch, back it out a little and put the needle back in. And just keep going. This works a lot, not just for costumes, but hair pieces, for vintage dresses. They use a lot of this type of a flower, vintage hats, all of that. Okay, so see how some is really tight? You don't want it too tight, that it's too tight to work with. So you want to have it so you can move it just a little, but lots of gathers. Now when I get to this point, I always put a knot here, so if the thread breaks, I haven't lost all the work I've done. Now we're going to take that end and we're going to wind it around. Now I go part way, wind through all the pieces, a couple different directions. And then wind a little more, catch those pieces into the center. Fit really good. Wind it a little more. Now right here I missed a piece, but I'm going to tuck that in and make sure and catch it when I sew all this up. It's starting to get too thick to go all the way through, so then I'll go part way through and then go back in and go part way through. Want to get that nice and tight. You don't want it slipping out, creating a problem. You just keep going. See if there's any spots slipping down. It's not a bad idea every once in a while to knot that thread also. If it breaks, you're safe. I'm going to knot it. So here's the back side of it. You can either keep it loose like that, or you can wind it around a little bit tighter. So if you're doing flat, you might want this so you can just wind this flower around and then tack it all down, creating that look. Or let's get a little bit more thread, do the same thing. And you want to make sure move in once the flower is sewn on or glued on, whatever you choose to do. Make sure that it doesn't move or fall, lay flat, and then take a tuck anywhere that it does, or a pinch with some thread. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this a little bit tighter so that you can see what I was talking about. Get the thread in there to catch it in a couple spots as I wind around. Now just wind that thread around a few times, pull it nice and tight, and then I sew that thread into place where it's holding it almost like a rubber band would. These flowers can be really time consuming, so if you're going to do a lot of them, make sure and just pay attention to how long one takes, and then you can times however many. So see how that's wound up a little there? And then it holds it a little bit tighter. And then you can sew that down. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. If you want more layers around, just do a longer piece. So that's with about 1.5 feet and fat. Now here's the same one with ribbon. See, it's just a little bit less of a depth. And then the last one with some lace. There you go, that's how you make these flowers. Thank you for watching our video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure and click here to subscribe, because we're going to have some amazing DIY videos coming out. And if you want to get our free, complete dance costume DIY guide, click right here, or go to bdancewear.com/DIY guide. And lastly, if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please leave it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching our video, and remember, be original, be colorful, bdancewear.com.